Hi everybody, this is Alchemist2 and I'm back again with another movie review. Recently I watched Evil Dead for the first time, and since I had seen Army of Darkness I was wondering where did it all begin. So I started with the very first film in the trilogy. And of course this movie was filmed in, I believe, the 70s. And I'm not exactly entirely sure of the locale, but it looks a lot like my native stomping grounds, or close to it. Maybe Kentucky or Tennessee, or just in the woods somewhere. You know, your typical horror movie setting, and I love B movies like this. And this is definitely a B movie. It starts out with you've got a group of curious, I guess, adolescents or young adults, and they go into the woods to this cabin that no one's even been in, and just seems to be pretty innocuous and innocent. And then they go inside, and Ash and his friends start looking around, and then they find some artifacts in the cellar that are very disturbing and just suspicious, to say the least. And they look very ominous. And then they find a book that comes with an old tape reel, and Ash and his friends start listening to it, and he talks about the book as the Necronicom. And if you've seen Army of Darkness, you know what the Necronicom is. It's roughly translated the Book of the Dead. And if you've read the actual Book of the Dead, it's nothing like what was portrayed in this movie, but savor historical facts for some other time and just be entertained, shall we? But this movie I thought was a little bit repetitive, and it's really gory, but I wasn't really bothered by the gore. And one of the things I found very amusing was when I believe it was Cheryl, she goes out into the woods right after the incantation is heard over the old reel tape player. I mean, this is really old retro tape player. I mean, not so old as what I've seen coming from parents who were kids during the Depression. So yeah, this is 70s retro, which isn't really that old. But anyway, after playing the incantations and seeing the ground move and turn red, and Cheryl goes out into the woods, and she gets entangled in some rather naughty vines, and it reminded me of some scenes that you might see in a hentai, which I don't watch, but I've heard of those scenes with the tentacles and all that, and I go, ooh, those vines are very perverted. And it seems that the zombies are too, in a way. You can't kill her. You love her. And I like a lot of the lines from it. One of my favorite things said from it, which I will probably be saying quite a bit, is "Join us, join us." And they keep wanting the other characters to join them. And of course, in order to defeat these undead, they have to be dismembered and buried. And unfortunately, I know I'm going to give away spoiler, but Ash has to dismember Lisa, and all he is left with is that the pendant that he gave her, which he was meaning to give that to her earlier. But I thought it was interesting that this had a romantic little subplot in it, and it made it that much more intriguing. And I like the whole idea of the Necronicom and the fact that it's bound in human flesh and inked with human blood. It's just, that's so cool and so disturbing and very carnal and just visceral, and how they depict that. And one of the things I like about this movie is how they did claymation when the zombies are finally slain, and you see them rotting. You hear the creaking of the bones and the rotting of the flesh. You hear the actual noises seeping, and all these gross squishing noises. I bet the sound effect, the Foleys, I bet that the Foleys in the background were just loving every minute of it. Squish, 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 squish. And I would have been in heaven being a Foley mixer, because I know Foley mixers don't really get that much attention, but in a movie like this, they live for doing effects that are like that. And it just would have been a lot of fun. I don't care who you are or how old you are. That would have been entertaining. I like a lot of the camera angles and the suspense that they used. A lot of things that were done off camera. This is why I like this movie, because I don't think you have to have constant gore and slashing. And this is more of a psychological film, which I thought was really neat. I love psychological horror. We don't do it very well over here. Well, we can do it well here in America, but the Japanese really have their psychological horror nailed. Really do. We try to imitate them, but we don't even come close. I'll mention some of my favorites. Versus, which is just absolutely fantastic, but it's Tokyo Shock, so don't be alarmed if you see a lot of gore, because one of the characters rips the heart out of a beating heart out of another character's chest, and the character falls over dead. But yeah, it's also one of my favorites. Another one of my favorites is called Freeze Me, which I don't know if you could call it a horror. It's Tokyo Shock again. And then I like Ichi the Killer as well. That's another Tokyo Shock. But this kind of reminded me of Tokyo Shock in a way, because of all the gore and the violence in it, and there was implied sex. And I love the scene. I don't know why, but I keep going back to the scenes with the pervy vines and ah. Yeah, I thought that was very amusing. But the screaming got really irritating. It just, I thought it was a little bit much. But the camera angles with the roaring and the guttural noises of the spirits, and I thought that was really effective. I thought, ooh, that's scary. But it had some really nice scares in it, and it may not be my favorite zombie film, but it ranks up there. I think that, okay, my favorite zombie film of all time is, of course, Night of the Living Dead. I've said that before, and I'll say it again. It is my absolute favorite, and I need to watch it all the way through, and I will. Definitely, I'll give you a review of it, because I love that movie so much. It's just, takes me back to my childhood, and I adore zombie films. I don't know what it is, but I guess the whole idea of survival and the plot of eat or be well, not eat or be eaten, but fight or flight, or run or be bitten and become one of them. Survival of the fittest. Just that whole idea, I like that. And this intelligence. Who's the most intelligent? You would think that zombies are slow and kind of not the type of monster that would be able to hold its own, but zombies are actually very brilliant and to be feared. So I really enjoyed that. And I'm gonna rank my favorite zombie films right now. Like I said, Night of the Living Dead, Shaun of the Dead, uh, Army of Darkness. I don't know if I could count Versus as a zombie film or not. I don't know. Evil Dead. Evil Dead would probably be my fourth favorite, and I haven't seen Evil Dead 2, but as soon as I see it, I'll let you know how I rank it among my favorite zombie films. But I really enjoy movies like this, and especially this time of the year, because it's like I said before in a previous review. It's the one time of the year I can feel normal for a change, and not like I'm stereotyped or people are looking at me like I'm a freak, which I'm not. But at least it's an enjoyable time of the year, and it's the one time of the year where spirituality is openly accepted. So I like that too. It just is a win-win all the way around for me. So I give Evil Dead, I would say 3 stars. Yeah, 3 stars. Even though there are some moments in it that are kind of cliched, and I had to make some comments in between. I was kind of riffing it, and the women are always the one. If you have some characters that go into this old abandoned house in the middle of nowhere in the woods, and it's very foreboding and just unsettling, and you know this is a bad idea before they go into it. But the women that are involved, if there are women involved in the movie itself, they always say we should leave immediately, especially when the characters are getting attacked by really lecherous vines, and there are odd guttural utterances, and then you hear "join us" from the darkness, and you think, ah, ugh, dear God, we're all gonna die, but we will not survive this night in this place, in this secluded, foreboding area, and we're all going to perish before the morning because because some evil force is going to attack. But it's just, the whole fact of the matter is this. That's what makes it fun. I mean, you can just turn your brain off and enjoy it. But I enjoy that every so often. I mean, you probably think of me as somebody who likes a film that's that will make you think. I do enjoy movies that engage the mind and get the cogwheels turning, so to speak. But films such as this one, I really do believe is one that you can just sit back, enjoy, turn your brain off, and just embrace the terror for what it is, because that's at the heart of a true survival film, and that's why I enjoy it. So 2 thumbs up for Evil Dead.